Hi everybody, so this video I'm probably doing it a little bit earlier than I normally would. So what you're seeing here is this is gameplay from the Xbox version of Shadow of Chernobyl, and in just a sec it's going to swap over to the PC version of Shadow of Chernobyl. Of course, the first installment in the Stalker series that came out an awful long time ago, but recently there's been an Xbox remake-ish sort of thing. But I wanted to get these videos out early, mainly because we're in this rather nice gap between some very big updates for games where if you haven't checked these titles out already, it might be a good time to do so, because we've actually got Stalker 2 coming out in December, I think, isn't it? And we've got the big DayZ update, Sakhal, or the Frostline expansion to DayZ coming soon as well, sometime hopefully before Christmas. And of course we've got the usual rush of Call of Duties and things like that. And so, especially if you're a fan of DayZ, I really want to reach out to you and say, look, you should really check these games out if you haven't already, because even after only playing a couple of hours of the Xbox version of Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, I've fallen in love with this game already. However, for other people who aren't fans of DayZ or aren't familiar with DayZ, you do have to treat these titles with a little bit of caution, because they're very old. The graphics are very Xbox 360, PS3, probably before that sort of era. And they're clunky as well. The gameplay controls are clunky, and the way things work are clunky. But that's why I say that if you enjoy DayZ and you've got over the clunky hump, just to put it a nice way, of the jankiness of playing DayZ and then enjoying DayZ, you'll be prepared for the clunky hump of Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. Now, as far as the graphics comparison goes between the two games, I think the PC version, these are the vanilla versions without any mods, the PC version on maximum with dynamic lighting, I still think it looks better. It definitely looks better. But the Xbox version, and what you're seeing here is the Xbox Series S version, because that's what I've got, runs and plays very nicely indeed. You know, it's at 1080p, 60 frames a second, which is nice. And in particular, what is very nice for me about the Xbox version is that the quality of life changes they've made so that it works with controller make it very playable. Now, I've had Stalker, all of the Stalker games, for a long time on PC, but I never got them. So I'd fire them up. I'd fire up Shadow of Chernobyl. I'd start playing, and I was like, I don't get this. It looks terrible. What am I meant to do? And isn't this really meant to be like DayZ, or is DayZ meant to be like this? And I never really got it. But I am a fan of PC games that you can play with the gamepad. So when I heard of the remastering, if you like, of these versions that are out on PlayStation and Xbox, I thought, right, I'm gonna think about getting them and giving them a go. And they are, at the moment, at the time of recording this video, they're on sale as well. So you get all three of the first Stalker games. I think it's for about £22 or whatever the equivalent is in your currency where you are, which is pretty cheap for these. I mean, you can buy them, the PC versions, much cheaper, you know, on CD keys and even on sites and things like that. But I've got to say, I prefer playing games with the gamepad, being able to sit back in my chair, even if I'm playing on PC, and be able to relax and do things that way. And I've been sucked in to this Stalker world. So if you're not familiar with it, basically what we have is a kind of almost like an open world, so a very large map, and we're this Stalker character, and we've lost our memory. We've got to find out what's happening to us, and it's in a universe where, after the Chernobyl accident, it's created all of these strange anomalies and things that are happening in Ukraine. And stalkers, they go into this area which is protected by the army and various other things, and they look for these strange artifacts, and they bring them out for money. But what's really cool is that because it has this open world structure, is you can go and visit and talk to NPCs, and they'll give you tasks which you can go off and you can earn money. You can get loot, and you can choose to do things in whatever order you want to. You can just wander off and kind of have an adventure, and you have all those cool things that DayZ has, you know, with inventory management, weapons wearing out, having to have to eat food. The game is incredibly hard and unforgiving, even on novice. So if you get into gunfights with enemies, they will kill you very, very quickly. But you do have a save, so you can save scum, an awful lot to keep yourself alive that way. And yeah, I'm loving it so far. Now, looking at the graphics, remember, graphics always look better when you're watching a YouTube video on a phone or something like that than they do in real life. They are a little bit basic, but they are definitely good enough. And even things like the way that the NPCs and the AI in the world, so the stalkers and the soldiers that are wandering around, they interact with each other, and they interact with the mutant animals as well. So you'll be wandering along and all of a sudden you'll see them having a scrap, and you're like, oh, what's going on here? And you can just stand back and wait for them to sort it out and then finish off whoever's left. Or you could go in and you can help them, and then you can scavenge their bodies for equipment, and then you've got to decide, okay, so I can carry this AKU, or do I have these pistols? Do I drop some? Am I going to go back to the trader and sell them to get some money so I can get some different stuff? All these sort of things you're thinking about, and it's really good fun. So, my initial conclusions then, after playing these games and concentrating on the Xbox version, but I've installed the PC version because I will be making videos where I add mods into the PC version. There's lots of like the Gamma mod and lots of different things to radically change the game. And you can add some mods to the Xbox version as well. There's a mod that I've been looking at that changes like the skins and all the weapons, so I might well be looking at that. But my conclusion is, if you enjoy DayZ, whether that be on PC or console, especially console, if you enjoy DayZ and you're looking for a similar experience, I would definitely say check out Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. And you don't have to buy the pack for £21. You can just buy the games individually for like £11 and just fire it up. Get over that initial hump of, oh god, this is clunky, how do things work? And then very quickly, I think, you'll probably be sucked in and you'll be like, I like this. This is my cup of tea. I like the freedom that this game gives me to explore, have my own adventures, but I can still follow a storyline too. So there we go. Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. Before the DayZ Frostline expansion comes out, before Stalker 2 comes out, check out the original games. They're very playable, very enjoyable, and I can't wait to play more. Anyway, that's enough from me. What do you think? Put your questions and comments down below, and of course, I'll see you again soon.
I'll be sure to tell everyone at the camp that you helped me out.